we do need to get ready to suffer for Christ.
Hmm.
Bill C-4 is coming our way. Nothing stays in Canada. It doesn't. So
And let's
church,
tell us really quickly, what is Bill C-4?
Bill C-4 is it's billed as a quote unquote anti-conversion therapy.
Which
Uh,
already we already have those in the United States, but all
yes,
those bills that are now turned to local laws
right,
are only laws, not criminal, but
right.
laws just to do with maybe like business fraud. So you could be fined, or you could maybe have your license taken away as a therapist, etc., but
And
not
if I can
criminal.
just jump in here, I mean, Christopher and I have been critical of conversion therapy as a theology. In other
Right.
words, we've
I
been
am too.
critical
I am too.
of like a church that doesn't believe it's competent to counsel and it farms off its people to a
Mhm.
parachurch ministry. So we have been in the past critical of that move, but we have never been supportive of bans on any kind of therapy.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
say if
that's
someone is
if
needs help with their
right,
struggle, like yeah, they should be allowed to get that help.
absolutely. But to elevate it to a doctrinal statement, sort of like what we're doing right now today with vaccines and mask mandates, right? If you're a church and you haven't written vaccines and mask mandates into your Apostles' Creed, well, obviously you don't love your neighbor. Just read David French in the Atlantic this week, and you can learn that one, you idiot Rosaria. But yeah, so I mean, I think we're doing the same thing now, but it basically it is a even the way it's written is so like you read it and you're like, is this George Orwell? It seems a little too contemporary.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
it's very Orwellian.
yeah, the enactment amends the criminal code, among other things, to create the following offenses: A, causing another person to undergo conversion therapy; B, doing anything for the purpose of removing a child from Canada with the intention that the child undergo conversion therapy outside of Canada; C, promoting or advertising conversion therapy; and D, receiving financial or other material benefits from the provision of conversion therapy. Whereas conversion therapy causes harm to society because, among other things, it is based on and propagates myths and stereotypes about sexual orientation. Well, there's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Gender identity and gender expression, including the myth that heterosexuality, cisgender gender identity, I kid you not, it's written right in here,
I know. I read that.
gender expression that conforms to the sex assigned to a person at birth are to be preferred. Can you imagine that one? Over all other sexual orientations, gender identities, and gender expressions. And whereas, in light of those harms, it is important to discourage and denounce the provision of conversion therapy in order to protect the human dignity and equality of Canadians. And then there is a clause, though, that lets everyone not worry, don't worry, it doesn't go the other way. If you promote transgenderism, you will not fall under this clause. The only
Right.
kind of conversion that might be damaging for you is the conversion that is called reality. God
Or
made you
the
male.
conversion from homosexuality to heterosexuality is the only thing that's banned.
Well, or the conversion from thinking I'm a man to
Right.
thinking I'm a woman. Because in that book I held up, there was a recommendation that you take a little online test to see how you're doing gender wise. Guys, I didn't do so well. My brain, well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go out myself. My brain is 58% male and 42% female, according to this very legitimate Google quiz. I went back to see what I flunked, and it included things like that I like beagles more than chihuahuas.
That
So it's very scientific.
Obviously,
Don't
you're a
you
man.
argue with the science there, Beckett Cook.
that is hilarious.
Well, but
But
the
not
thing
so
in
hilarious.
Canada is really serious. I've already talked to Canadian pastors. It is very, very serious. And so, church, are you ready to suffer, to preach the gospel, to proclaim the truth, to live in obedience, to love one another well, to share what you have? Or do you feel like you just need to write for The Atlantic and USA Today and just, air all the grievances of the church that doesn't think that, vaccines are an Apostles' Creed worthy statement? I mean,
Right.
you're going to pick. Church, are you ready to suffer, to preach the gospel, to proclaim the truth, to live in obedience, to love one another well, to share what you have?
Right.
You're going to pick.